Hello, and welcome to episode 1 of the Risky Racing podcast. I'm Stephen Greening, and joining me today is Michael Messenger. How are you, Mike?
Hello. I'm very well, Steve. How are you?
I'm really good. So we're just going to get this out there now. We've never recorded a podcast before. We don't really know what we're doing.
Same as the racing then.
Yeah, but we're going to try and give a brief description of what we actually do and what this channel's about. So yeah, we'll go from there, I think. So
Okay.
I'll let you.
So in
Yeah, go on.
oh yeah, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, go on.
So in a nutshell, we are a small, tight knit, would you say, sim racing team?
Exceptionally close, yeah.
Exceptionally close. Called Risky Racing, hence the podcast name. We spend the majority of our time on iRacing, racing in a quite a small, tight-knit league called the Limit of Adhesion. I said it.
Well done.
I said it. I said
I
it.
thought I'd let you handle that one.
I said it. They're really good. They have a Discord. I'm sure we can probably put that in the link somewhere. They're really,
Yeah, we'll get the
really
editor
cool
to do that.
dudes. Yeah, we'll get the editor to do that. Really, really friendly guys, and if you're interested in iRacing leagues and want a fun UK league, they're certainly worth taking a look at. Yeah. So what's the reason for us doing the podcast then, Steve? I can hear all of our audience
They're crying out,
crying
aren't
out.
they? They are crying out. So basically, there's no real sim racing podcasts, not proper ones that I would class as. There's enough information out there, and we're all motorsport fans, so we're just going to talk a bit about the league that we race in, our setups, who we are as people. That bit might get a bit interesting. And then we're going to talk about real life motorsport, catch up on the week's MotoGP, Formula One, British touring cars. Yeah,
Lawnmower Racing Championships.
anything that races with wheels, really. Well, I don't know. We've spent some time on Discord.
Powerboating?
Yeah.
I don't mind a powerboat. I quite like a
F1
powerboat.
powerboats. Yeah.
Oh,
Tangent.
okay.
But yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So I'll quickly just ask you the question, Mike. How did you get into sim racing?
My first look at sim racing was Reese showing me a video on YouTube called of a game called Live for Speed when I was about 16.
So should we quickly introduce the team then, as you've mentioned Reese?
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So there's obviously myself, Steve here, and then the two other members of Risky Racing are Oliver and
Mr. Ettridge,
Reese.
yeah, and Reese.
Yes, Reese Crichton. So yeah, Reese showed me a video when I was around 16, and it's a game called Live for Speed at the time. Still a fantastic game. It's just very, very outdated now. And I think it was a guy filming himself on his G25, and he was doing drifting or something. And yeah, kind of seeing it, and I thought, actually, it's not just your standard cheap 40 quid PS2 Argos
Mad
sort of
Catz
wheel and pedal
controller.
setup. Yes, that's the brand I was trying to think of. Thank you. Yeah, I mean I think it's a Logitech G25, but it sounds really weird, but for me the biggest thing was it had a shifter, like an actual first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and I mean there will be a running joke in this series, but we all know how much I love a gear change.
Oh,
so
yeah, that would have set you up for life.
that was literally. So yeah, that was my introduction, and here we are, literally 15 years later. Those that do the quick maths will know my age now. Yeah, and Steve, what about you? Where did you first come across sim racing?
Mine started a lot earlier than that. So I'm a little tiny bit older than Mike and the others, 3 or 4 years. But yeah, my first experience of, I'm going to call it sim racing because it's what I got bitten by as a kid. So I was on a Nintendo, the first one, the NES, on a game called Turbo Racing, which was basically a 80s early 90s Formula One game.
Okay.
So did that with my dad. We used to play that all the time. He would qualify, I would do the race, and then that basically sparked it off that I would watch the F1 with my dad and the rallying and the touring cars, because obviously it was actually on proper telly back then. But I wouldn't call that a sim racing title, but that's where it all started.
I mean,
for me.
I had a SNES and I had Days of Thunder.
Oh,
Which I remember that well. And then I went to Mega Drive with Super Hang-On, and I think there was a game called Virtual Racing or Virtua Racer. But again, that is that was the early 90s.
I mean, yeah.
But again, would you class that as sim racing if it wasn't on a wheel and pedal set?
I would, because when you're a kid, you can't afford stuff like wheels and pedals. But that's where your love for racing starts, I think. Like we all watched it on TV as a kid.
Absolutely.
But that's where I got into hot lapping, basically. And that's how my sim racing started. I mean, the first proper, I wouldn't even call it, it's not a proper sim racing title, but my first experience with a wheel and pedals would have been like F1 Championship Edition on the PS3 when it released.
Yeah, that was a great game, by the way.
That's still one of the best games.
That holds up really well. I watched a video recently on the top 10 F1 games, and it was certainly up there. I can't remember what number it was, but it still holds up really well.
I mean, that was the first time I'd ever used a wheel and pedals. I had a Logitech GT Pro or something. So it was force feedback. But
Driving
Force Pro. Yeah, and you had
GT.
Yeah, and you had the shifter attached to the wheelbase, sequential.
Yes.
And obviously
they were good wheels.
Yeah,
they were very good wheels.
Actually, I've missed one that probably shaped my entire sim racing. That would have been Gran Turismo 1, actually.
Oh yeah. That's probably a good shout out. Actually,
I think that did everyone's sim racing really. So that's how everyone really kicked it off. With my
all those hours where you was grinding license tests.
Yeah, doing trial mountain for hours on
every second. Do you know, I wasn't too bad at the license test, but I could never get the very first one where you accelerate, you have to brake and finish in like the little zone at the end.
Okay, yeah.
I could never ever do that and get gold because you had to brake so early, so you stopped just inside the zone.
It's probably in the Viper,
the fastest way. Possibly. Yeah.
I mean, that's where sim racing started for me. I mean, obviously we've moved on a little bit from there, but
yeah, actually that's probably a good shout. Like, so how far have we come since then? What's your current sim racing setup as of now?
So it went NES, then it went Gran Turismo controller, obviously, and then PS3 Formula 1. I played a lot of the PlayStation, like the Codemasters F1 titles and Colin McRae rallies and Dirt Rally and that on console up until about 2016, I would probably say, where I switched over. And the only reason I switched over to PC is because I found out I was working with a fellow sim racer. Hence yourself. We didn't even know we were in the same room, nerding away every night. At home.
It was so funny because for a few months I used to come in on a Monday morning. I knew you was like a motorsport fan. He'd say, "Oh, did you see the F1? Did you see the MotoGP?" Yeah. And it went on for months, wasn't it? We're just casually talking. And I think one day you said, "Oh, I'm racing tonight online," and I was like, "What?"
Hello.
Hello. I was like, "Oh, on what?" He's like, "iRacing." Oh, congratulations! You just got a new best friend.
Yeah, we'd only worked with each other for like a year. It's like it was taboo though, wasn't it? Because it's one of those hobbies where you don't, unless you're in it, you don't talk about it. Because
I don't like to bore people with it because
they don't get it.
Yeah, I mean we have we're sort of, I guess we'll kind of touch on these in upcoming podcasts, but we've got the Le Mans 24 Hour coming up in the middle of August. And it is 24 hours long. So at points, we will be up at 3 a.m. racing. And yeah, people just don't get it. But when you're going down the Mulsanne in the pitch black at 3 a.m. with a car two foot alongside you. I know it's in the game, but it's still pretty cool.
Yeah, but when you've got to the point where our setups are at now, it feels close enough to. We all think we're racing drivers, don't we? All sim racers think they could be a racing driver. It's just.
Well, we are. It's just budget.
Yeah, budget constraints and the fact that we didn't have that opportunity.
No.
But it's fine. I'm quite happy to sit with my mates in the middle of the night doing 24 hours.
Calling people
turkeys. I mean, yeah. We've got a specific sense of humour that's...
It should come through in the podcast.
It will. We're probably going to have to backtrack on this because this is like episode 1. There's bits that we've missed, but we're just trying to like broadly go over. We'll do like we'll have people on. We're going to try and have some guests. We know we're a couple of racing drivers, real ones, actual racing drivers. Oh, we know a boring dancer too, which is prevalent.
That's one of the racing drivers not coming on then. It could be like the fucking what they call Top Gear gag.
Hey,
he's not coming on then.
But yeah, we're going to try and keep this one to 15 minutes. So we've got like 3.5, 4 minutes. So if there's anything else you want to add, Mike? Don't know really.
Well, should I go through what my current setup is? Because I think you've done yours, haven't you?
I didn't, but yeah, you can do.
Didn't.
Yeah, it's fine. I got sidetracked.
So you got sidetracked. So currently got a SimiCube 2 Pro base, along with a Cube Controls OMP wheel, which is very, very good, highly recommended, along with some Huskinvale pedals, and I want to say it's a high-end setup, but these days it's probably like mid to high, isn't it, really? Considering the amount of...
I would still class that as high-end.
The wheelbase, yeah.
It's not slowing you down,
but
let's put it that way.
No.
Yeah.
But like the pedals you can get now, there's so many of these little pedal companies that are popping up, which are making really nice looking, aesthetically pleasing load cell pedals now.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas going back, say, 4 years...
Oh, it was a G27
Thrustmaster,
or Thrustmaster or Fanatec.
Yeah, that was it. Those were your choices, but now you're literally sport for choice. I mean, anybody entering the hobby now, you need quite deep pockets, but yeah,
you can get. The thing is, you can get to a high level. Like in all seriousness, you can get to a high level on a G27 or a G29 or a G25 or whatever you've got. It's just the biggest thing is immersion and consistency.
Yeah.
It's like we have a guy who races in the LOA, Limited Edition League, and
He said it.
I did. He's 3K, so 3K rating, which is above average, and he's only just switched from a G29. You know, you can be as competitive and as quick as anybody else. It's just what you get out of it and consistency. You can't beat a direct drive wheel for feeling and saving a potential spin.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like how many times it saved us in a league, and I've actually said in a live stream, because we live stream most of our races, which link will be in the description. Quick plug. Yeah, how many times have I said, well, it's just paid for itself. The wheel's just paid for itself, basically.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Not that the league's worth loads of money, but it is to me bragging rights. Right.
If just one small quick thing, if anybody is watching this and they
I should hope they're listening.
They are interested. Listen, rookie mistake. If anybody is listening to this and they are interested in getting into the hobby, Steve will put a link to Midas Simulations website.
Oh, yes.
Which has very good, reasonably priced sim racing gear,
and they're very
also
good.
Very helpful. Yeah, they're very helpful.
We'll also link the Discord.
Yes.
LOA Discord, because there's a good community of people there. They're all trying to get lots of different people into the hobby. Really helpful. Competitive racing. They race everything and anything. So.
And there's like a beginners class as well. So anybody,
where you'll find us.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
So I think we'll call that there, Mike. And
yeah.
yeah, thanks everyone for
Thanks for
listening.
yeah.
And I'll put I'll find a jingle. To put
We'll find a
we'll
jingle.
find a jingle. Right. Goodbye, everybody.
Lovely. Goodbye.